Hi. I know it's been a little while uh, since I did my last post or video, and why I've been dragging my feet is that I wanted to begin to focus on my actual experiences as I'm going through this life and what they uh, have been about, and the fact that they involve, um, I'll say real people, but people that are just as active today as they were uh, back then. And I was trying to find out a way in which I wanted to explain it without involving anyone else but myself. And I realized that what I wanted to do was just explain from my perspective those things I felt as I was going through uh, this entire journey of mine. And I could never get comfortable with a method in which I didn't, um, let's say, just include or point the finger at somebody else. And so I've been wrestling with that for some time now as to how I would do that. Well, it just so happened that this process that I've been describing about a conversation with my creator and that kingdom within that uh, should be able to give me guidance and determine how to move forward. And all of a sudden, I guess it was last night or this morning sometime, the answer came to me. And it it involves some of what it was already inside me, but just uh, it became clear as to how they all fit together and how I should do it. And so I'm hoping I can communicate what that answer was in a manner that gives you a picture of how I saw my life and how I experienced it going forward to this day. And there are two things here that I reference. That is the answer in the guide line that I'm going to follow. And I term them here the honey badger and the beehive. And I have for some time been attaching to, with a little bit of admiration, um, to the honey badger and how it interacts with life and the many different journeys it goes on um, uh, to discover something that satisfies him or them inside. And that drive, recognize it takes them into many different uh, uh, environments where there's harm, there's danger, and there's reward. And so, without thinking about how they, what the consequences is, they just go right ahead and on their little path and journey through life. And so I've been noticing in some of the information I get or have looked at about the honey badger how courageous it really is in terms of uh, I don't knowing that he's what his path is. There are many different obstacles on it, and he runs into all of them, and still maintains his um, sense of presence, but also relies on those skills and talents that were a part of uh, what was within his uh, uh, tools that he has to accomplish his mission in life. And so uh, I thought, well, if I described it from that point of view in terms of my mission in life, maybe that would avoid being able to deal with um, uh, individual personalities and so forth. I'm going to try and do that anyway. And then the other one was the beehive uh, example. Initially, I thought about a hornet's nest, but I thought the beehive would be an appropriate description of this this journey of mine that I've been on, and the different places that I've discovered along the way, and finally going into what's termed here the beehive. In a beehive that I wasn't um, thinking about the consequences of that. So uh, those were the two answers that came to me in terms of how I wanted to describe this journey that I've been on. And then I've already talked about separating that journey into uh, three different sections. The one is the good experiences that I've had along the way. And even though I may comment later that there wasn't uh, an extended period of time of being in that uh, environment of good, nevertheless it was there. And then the what I term bad journey, bad experiences, and finally the evil experiences. And so each of one of those, I thought I'd take this concept of the honey badger and be able to um, share with you how I saw myself and the kind of things that I realized that um, I mimic in that journey of the honey badger in terms of getting myself in trouble and discovering this life that I've been on and so forth. And all of it to me relates to this journey of life. And whether it's on the path of God or path of man, uh, I ran across both paths and where they led me. So that's what I want to try and encapsulate in this uh, presentation of my journey and experiences through life. And I want to just there's one other part up here in the present and considerations, and that is a comment that came to me at a certain point in life that says, "Peace be still," and what that represented to me, and the reason I put it here, is that finally, towards the end of this journey I'm going to describe, it ended up that I thought that I'd finally escaped or gotten away from this evil part of my life, and so the comment from me was "Peace be still," that it's all over. Well, as as noted here, that was not the ending. And so I'm still involved in that process of recognizing that once I went down into this beehive, I'll call it, this natural beehive, I was thinking I was just dealing with a single bee. And, um, and in the end, I find out there are replacement bees and everything else that's still to be dealt with. And so that's those are the things to consider, and that's kind of how I've come to think about what I wanted to talk about in this whole process. So at least I have some direction and clarity in terms of where I'm going with this. And so we'll begin this uh, journey with uh, that portion that I termed the good. And I think I'll separate the video here and then start the next one, uh, talking about the good things that have occurred to me on this journey. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.